At Valencia, learning-centered teaching strategies means that Valencia educators implement diverse teaching and learning strategies that accommodate the learning styles of students and that promote both acquisition and application of knowledge and understanding. There are numerous performance indicators that provide evidence of learning in terms of this essential competency, but I think they can be boiled down to several key concepts. Strategies for active learning, methods that develop student understanding of the discipline's thinking in authentic and real-life ways, opportunities for student choice, and motivation to learn. Although over 30 years of experience in higher education have shaped my thinking about teaching and learning, my philosophy has always focused on student success and ways to facilitate students' learning and life goals. As a former educator of developmental students, I have developed substantial understanding of the needs of students who have different learning styles and need additional and different learning opportunities and supports in order to achieve academic success. Providing students with new cognitive strategies and helping them change their thinking about themselves empowers them to do what is needed to succeed. As a result, I see learning as a thinking process rather than a product to be achieved. I see my role as an educator as helping students develop and refine their thinking skills so that they can approach and learn any subject they choose with skill and confidence. I believe this view parallels that of the concept of the Learning College at Valencia, and specifically what it means to use learning-centered teaching strategies. Several key people and ideas continue to shape my teaching philosophy. First, about 15 years ago, I attended a week-long critical thinking Train the Trainer seminar led by Dr. Richard Paul at the Center for Critical Thinking at Sonoma State University. As a result, I began changing my teaching from an instructor-centered lecture approach to a student-centered active learning approach. Second, an article titled From Teaching to Learning, A New Paradigm for Undergraduate Education, I got concrete details about what student-centered instruction could be in terms of theory, for example, constructivist, structure, not limited by time or space, criteria for success, or outcomes-based, and faculty roles, guides rather than sages. Third, I've been fortunate to know and work with colleagues across the United States whose ideas and assistance impacted my thinking and teaching in terms of contextual, cooperative, and service learning. Fourth, the growth of technology and increasing explosion of information makes the need to help students become self-directed learners and critical thinkers even more imperative. Finally, changes in students themselves, for example, millennial learners and non-traditional students, alter the learning environment and the teaching approaches I use. So what are some ways to apply this competency to your teaching and learning in your classroom? You don't have to specifically know each student's style in order to meet them. Rather, if you provide a wide variety of activities within a single class or week and throughout the course, you will reach everyone at some point. For example, in a single class, you could give students an incomplete outline or concept map that students would complete as you provide a brief 10 to 15-minute lecture with PowerPoint. This multisensory approach addresses visual, auditory, and kinesthetic modes as well as active learning. Then you might pose a discipline-specific scenario and ask them to write a response and share it with a partner. After reading both responses, students could edit and revise a single version to share with the class. Now you've incorporated authenticity of thinking and writing in the discipline and provided an opportunity for individual reflection as well as collaborative learning. Then, maybe you assign students different parts of the course content. Now they have to create the incomplete outline, develop a PowerPoint, and provide a 10-minute lecture. How can you give students choice and control while maintaining your expectations and standards for learning? In math, you might ask students to create their own word problems that utilize a specific concept or formula. In foreign language, you might have students correspond or Skype with someone from a country where that language is spoken. In lieu of a paper, students could do a presentation. In conclusion, when I think about learner-centered teaching strategies, I think about a phrase I often share with students. Looking and learning are not synonyms. That is, learning requires action on the part of the person who is doing the learning. Thus, I do the majority of my work outside of and before class by planning activities for students to do in class. Then, in class, my goal is for students to do the work while I facilitate.